Okay, all right, let's do the normal stuff real quick. Just give me a moment. Today URL, pop out chat. Okay, I'm still setting up. Yep, past 4:20 a little bit ago. Hey, Claude. Okay, so, this here, cool. Oh, I'm not. Okay. Think it was in the last like 30 minutes of the video of the stream. Okay, so, let me. Hello? Are you there? There we go. Right. So, hi guys. How are you? I'm here. We're here. So I gotta be very careful because I don't want to get like double copyright struck or whatever. Let's go ahead and move this to a separate page window. This, yeah. We're gonna let things build for a minute. So for those of you, for people who are just joining us, which there will, I'm hoping there, well, I haven't done a thing yet. Hold on. I gotta do a thing. Give me a second. That, and then Vtuber. Little image to make things everything better. We'll just do this one. So TVZ music? I don't know what that is, but sure. I do need to play some music because I might not be talking for a short time. What happens if I turn on reverb? Nothing. Okay. Right? I don't know what that is. Sorry. I am super uncultured. I just ate and I was gonna let it sit, right? I was gonna wait until they. Yeah, that's what reverb is. I was gonna wait until YouTube gave a verdict on whether they keep the warning or not. I think the warning stays for 90 days. What'll happen is if I get the copyright strike, if they decide to strike me for this video, this stream, I get what's it called? I get a week vacation from YouTube, and so I'll just start streaming on Twitch and fuck YouTube, right? It would hurt view counts per se, but it wouldn't, like, I'm not big enough for it to matter, right? So it's like, yeah. Yeah, they put me down for a week on the YouTube channel. I wouldn't be able to upload, I wouldn't be able to go live, I wouldn't be able to do community posts or anything. And so I'd just be like, all right, fuck you guys. I'll do something else. I'll go to Twitch, or I'll go to Kick, or I'll go somewhere else and stream because fuck you guys. Right? Because, you know, I don't need to be on YouTube. I prefer YouTube as a platform because it's easier to manage, but I'm never going to be monetized. Never. There's a couple of people who only watch me on YouTube, unfortunately. And they wouldn't know if it wasn't for this VOD. No, if they remove the VOD, fuck. I'll have to upload something for them before I get banned on Twitch or whatever, or YouTube. But I'm gonna leave a message for them that lets them know, hey, if I go quiet for a week, I was just, you know, YouTube warning. This is great content, by the way. It's wonderful content. Content farm, guys. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about how I would let this work, right? Now, right now, I want to be clear. I don't think YouTube is malicious at this very moment. I think someone was offended that I said the things that I said, and I'm not going to go into detail just yet because, like I said, I want to put the context together so that way there's no way they'll give me a strike for this video, I hope. But they got offended about what I said and they reported me. Or, well, that's the only way because it was at the end of the stream. Like, because I didn't say anything at the beginning of the stream. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't, like, they had to have watched the entire VOD. But that means, you know what I mean? I think it was automated. That's the thing. I think it was automated. I'm like 50% certain that it was an automated one. That's why I'm like, I don't think they're malicious, but, you know, you never know. Maliciousness and incompetence are about the same thing. And sometimes incompetence is worse. But like I said, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not big enough for it to matter that much. It just gives me some content to farm. Right, community post. Let's see, December 2023. $10:30. Let's see. Hey guys, if I go silent for a week, it's because I got a community strike. The last stream, midday, December 1st, 2023, was reported and I have a warning. So as of this post, I'm doing another stream, same day at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, talking about it. If I go dark, I'll be on Twitch, so I hope to see you there. Yeah. So, let's see. I don't want to make the stream too long because honestly, I do want to go to go finish watching Eminence's Shadow. That's what I was doing before this. So I'm just letting things happen and cruise for a moment and passing the time with some decent music. Eminence is so fun. I'm not saying it's a good anime. I want to be clear, it's not a great anime, but like it's fun, and that's like that's it. That's the end of the story. It's a fun anime. So like, you know, there's no reason to hate on it. It's also still really well done, and then that reverb, the way he says atomic, and you'll know what I mean by that if you watch it, is the best thing I've ever heard. And I want to replicate it, but I can't because I am shit. So, you know, fun stuff. Oh, it looks like whoever it was that reported me unsubbed because I'm down to 525. I was at 526 before the stream. That's hilarious. That's great. 10 out of 10. That means someone might have did get offended and report me and then, you know, unsub and leave, which is great. That's hilarious. That's like 10 out of 10 content right there. I'll get into that. I'll actually just have it post on stream. Yeah, no, it was medical misinformation, Chungu, which wasn't, but you know, here we are. We're gonna move me down here. Yeah. Okay. And then the browser's ready. Check this out. So, I don't know when it is exactly. This is the community strike I got. To be clear, I'm not hating on YouTube. Right? To be clear, I'm not advocating for any steps to happen beyond YouTube reviewing the video and either finding it guilty or innocent of breaking policy. If they find it guilty of breaking policy, we'll talk about it. But until then, I'm being skeptical and gonna let this roll out and see what happens, right? I feel like they're gonna find this not guilty. I'm fairly certain about that. And it's not like it, you'll see. To be clear, this is a review of what happened. No shovels yet. No. Like I said, I want this to disappear into my memory as funny shit that happened one time way back, right? I think it's stupid that any of this is happening right now because it's completely unnecessary over what was ostensibly my experience personally with COVID. Not, you know, not me telling people how to do it, what to do during it, none of that. I wasn't advocating for any steps for anyone else to take. I was giving experience and what my family and I have experienced during the pandemic and you know, the later years. I talked about what happened, the fact that I didn't get vaccinated. I'm not saying other people don't, right? I said I didn't feel the need to. I have a number of reasons that I did not feel the need to get vaccinated, right? Had nothing to do with any kind of conspiracy theory. Just felt like I didn't need to. That's all there's to it. That's not me saying that's not me saying don't get vaccinated. No. You do what you want to do with your body. But don't endanger other people. If you're going to be in a public space, you probably should get vaccinated, right? But also, I'm not an expert in this kind of thing. I don't know this shit. I'm just a random internet nerd, right? That's how this works. That's why you're here, to watch Random Internet Nerd. But, you know, we'll see what happens, right? So, let me go ahead and mute the music. The important part about this, the important part here, right, is I 100% believe YouTube's gonna find me not in violation of the YouTube policy. Because at no point do I advocate for anything that breaks the YouTube policy guidelines that go against WHO and whatever. I say my experience. I say that, so here, you'll see. Where is it? That's the anime name. And it's really well animated. Oh yeah, apparently something that helped contribute to the unemployment crisis, by the way. The US Army kicked out soldiers who didn't take vaccinations. Okay. I literally was reading that headline on a YouTube video, just to be clear, right? That's not misinformation. I don't know if that's true or not. I was reading a headline on YouTube on a video. That's it. That's that discussion right there. The reason this is bad is because all those soldiers didn't either wanted to be members of the US Army, right, for one reason or another, or needed money. Well, you just kicked out a bunch of people who honestly probably don't know how to handle a decent chunk of money anyway, right? Out onto the street for shitty reasons during a pandemic, during problematic times. Like the kind of, like, even if they only released something like 20,000 people total. Oh, I heard the ping and I'm like, where was that? Where did that come from? And it's from this. So I was talking about so from what I understood at that moment, and as far as I understand right now, right, I was talking about a video posted by Donut, I believe. Let me go look to see if I can find it, because I'm pretty sure it's still there. Tear gas grenades. Oh yeah, it was Angry Cops, not Donut. Sorry, right? Army apologizes for kicking soldiers out, for kicking unvaccinated soldiers out. That happened, apparently, as far as I know. That's right there by Angry Cops, posted one day ago. That's it. That's that discussion, right? I heard the ping and I was like, what the fuck is that noise? Right? So, moving forward, that's 20. Oh, and I mentioned that, my point was, a bunch of people who were in the military are suddenly kicked out of the military for no real good reason, and with no real warning and no preparation for them. Because I can tell you right now, the government didn't give them a bunch of stuff, probably. They wanted an excuse to kick people out of the army. It's the government. That's what they do. I'm not saying they're being malicious or anything, but they do this stuff all the time. That's not me. That's not a lie, right? There's no lie there. They're like, just from a factual standpoint, they do this all the time. That's why I'm like, this is annoying. But, 3,000 more people in the unemployment area of a pandemic closed down United States. The employment rates skyrocketed. And then there's that going on. So during the pandemic, from what I remember, everything closed down. People were not employed, or they were technically employed and not making money from their place of business. That doesn't mean I'm wrong. They were unemployed, or they weren't making money, which means they're essentially unemployed because everything was closed. It was a lockdown. That's not a lie. There's no falsity there, right? Am I wrong? Because I'd like some feedback on that. during the opening year of the pandemic and the following year, a lot of businesses were closed because the government forced them closed. People lost their jobs during this time because those businesses ran out of money to keep operating in any capacity, and so people lost their jobs. From what I understand, unemployment rates went up. That's how it works. But that's not medical misinformation as far as I know, right? That's not medical misinformation. It might be, right? But I don't think it is. It's correlation is not causation, right? That's important to keep in mind. So that was that. This all happens in like the last 20 minutes of the video of the VOD. I'm a controversial person. I put it out everywhere, but here we are, right? So these people who honestly don't have any training to handle being in the civilian sphere anymore are now having to move. I also don't know what kind of people were kicked out of the army in terms of people who didn't get vaccinated who were in the army, right? And got kicked out of the army by the army. I don't know if they were higher ranking, lower ranking, just anywhere in between, or it could have been any number of things. But on average, if they're part of the army and not just recruits, which I don't think you're part of the army until after you finish being a recruit, so I don't know how that works. But if you're part of the army, you've gone at least 6 months inside of one of the hardest training regimes in all of the world. Don't at me, right? Like, yeah, other places have hard training regimes too for their military, but, you know, so these people have just been through hell and then they immediately got kicked out, or it's a bunch of higher ranking people who have been in the military, in the army for a while, and guess what? We've been at war since like 2001. Our military has been mobilized constantly for the last 20 years and is only relaxed because of the pullout in a couple of places that I won't name because I don't know much about what happened, right? Like, I only know it happened. I don't know anything. I don't care, right? That's not my sphere of influence. I don't really give a shit. I think it's funny that stuff happened the way it did. And it's unfortunate that, you know, nothing worked out. They had their birthday ball canceled at some point. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I don't know anything about the information. I believe it was because of the issues with Hamas right now, but I don't know. I don't know. But my point is that, you know, I don't remember what my point is. Move back to being civilian, and it's like, hold up. Wait a minute. But now they're apologizing and trying to take them back, and it's like, half of them are probably dead. Either because they starved to death or suicide. Because these guys didn't have any other options probably. And they went into the military and then didn't get a vaccination because they didn't trust it. Because half of the entire United States population didn't trust it. Guess what? I still don't trust it. I'm not vaccinated. But I'm not vaccinated for a very important reason. The kind of government push for the vaccination was a little odd. It was a little weird. And yeah, I understand that it's kind of a problem, but here's the thing. From every source I've been able to find, unless you had health complications, Corona was only about as bad as the flu. I did specify sources I found. I specified I don't trust it. I did say, and I don't know how true it is because I don't have any information. I didn't look up statistics before I did this, right? This is the last 30 minutes of stream. I did say that half the United States didn't trust it. Here's the thing. I do know for a fact more than half of at least 20 states were not vaccinated for the first year and a half of Corona. I know this because there was someone keeping track of individual states and how vaccinated they were. And some states did get above 50%, barely, like 52%, right? So more than half of the states I knew of were not vaccinated. And yes, I did assume, you know, that, but that I do know for a fact, right? That at least 20 states. That's not medical misinformation. That's facts. That's how it is. But here's the thing. We don't have 100% hard numbers because the vaccinations we know of aren't every vaccination that happened. Because, you know, there's all kinds of stuff that can happen. Yeah, they might have, right? It could have been a number of things, right? And then I also know that Florida had let most of the COVID-19 tests they had expire. Like, just let it rot, like most of. And I do mean most of. And that's really weird. Yeah. Like, I do know that's a fact. It's a news headline. It's a thing. I don't know if that was proven false or not. I do remember that's a headline because, you know, I get my news from the internet and that's absolutely something someone memed. And you can look it up. I mean, if I'm wrong, then, you know, it's, you know, use your ability to look things up. But as far as I know right now, and no one should be using me as a credible source. I don't know what world you live in to think that I'm a credible source. That's funny. Maybe a little worse, unless you had underlying health problems. And also, as far as I know for a fact, COVID was about as bad as the flu when you got it, unless you had underlying health issues. As far as I know. Like, it could come out that, you know, I'm wrong because I never looked into it more than that. But at the beginning, everyone was equating it to the Black Death, but then it slowly kept going back and back. And if I remember the numbers right, yeah, the death rate was that low, and the symptoms are fever, cough, sneezing, a few other things that I don't know off the top of my head, but it's the flu symptoms. You know what I mean? I think the thing that scared people was how contagious it was relatively, and then it stopped being that contagious. Or actually, it ended up getting more contagious, if I remember right, but still. The flu? I don't know. I don't know anything about the flu. I don't think I've ever caught the flu. I had my flu shots. So, but I was a baby then, so like I didn't have a choice. My mom made me get the flu shots, so you know. Oh, COVID? My grandparents had COVID multiple times. And they're like, I'm surprised at how well they did with the COVID because they have a lot of underlying medical issues. I think I'm bringing that up too. From what I can tell, from what I've been able to find. Do you like that flickering in the background, by the way, of my shit? I think that's my ad block. I mean, I don't know. I don't know for sure, right? Like, my great-grandma, who's like 80-something, I believe, got COVID. I believe she was hospitalized, but it ended up not being COVID that was what was hospitalizing her. And she recovered from COVID and the hospitalization and is fine now. I don't know if my great grandpa before he passed got COVID. I have no idea. So I have no information from that. And I'm not about to ask. And I know my grandma and grandpa, directly related to me and live in the same house as me, got COVID. I didn't get COVID. I know for a fact I didn't get COVID. Anytime I was sick, it was physical stress. I got because I was working myself pretty hard when I actually had a job. Not long hours, but hard hours, because it was a lot of manual labor. So I was exhausted when I got home. And I work with chemicals and stuff. So I don't know how the COVID interacts with chemicals or whatever. I didn't have to do it. I might have. I don't know. As far as I know, I didn't, because I never got sick or anything. I never had to take any COVID tests, because anytime I got sick, it was very minor. And it was never high fever and never a heavy cough, except for whenever I normally get a heavy cough. There's a period of time where I actually do pick up a cough for like 3 or 4 weeks. And it was particularly bad this time because I got a sore throat. And that sore throat fucked me up for like 3 weeks. The sore throat itself maybe had to miss like 2 weeks of work. Like, it was really bad. Then what was I at? Fuck. Most of the times I was out sick was physical pain. Sore body, you know, pain, just a lot of pain. Not like, yeah. No, specifically the reason I got a sore throat is I had been using a chemical I don't actually hang out around with, and I think I'm allergic to. I don't know for sure, right? Because it didn't get worse than the sore throat. So I didn't actually go to anywhere about it because I can't afford to go to a doctor. I got it was like, it wasn't Pine Sol. I think it might have been Pine Sol. I don't remember, right? And it's a really strong chemical agent, really strong, smells and everything, right? And I had inhaled it because I was working with it, right? And like next day, throat sore. It would fuck me up. It fucked me up real hard. Yeah, Pine Sol. Like Pines oil, something like that. It was a purple chemical too. Really strong shit. So I got a sore throat and it fucked me up. And that was the worst I got cough-wise because of a heavy sore throat. It really fucked me up, like really bad. It was really bad. But it was mostly sore body. By that I mean I'd get up and I'd move around a little bit and I'd either have a fucking monster headache, which I haven't had as many headaches lately. I haven't had a lot of headaches at all. What the fuck? Probably stress not being such a bad thing. I don't know. But I would be out for massively powerful migraines, the kind of shit that puts most people on their ass. And I want to point out, I do have a pretty good pain tolerance. Like, I do know that I can deal with a bit of pain. So whenever I say I hurt, it's probably worse than it is, which is unfortunate because it means that, you know, whenever I'm bedridden, it means I'm taking so much painkiller and sleep medication to pass the fuck out. But remember, this is all at the end of the stream. This is like the last 5 minutes, the last 10 minutes of the stream too. So that's interesting. I'm not 100%. I don't have any hard numbers, right? But that's like, all of my family has had corona. I haven't, but most of my family has. My grandpa I think he got vaccinated, and now he's on more medicine because he had health complications because of the vaccination. Not because of corona, because of the vaccination. This is true. This is 100% facts. I will get the medical documentation if I have to. My grandpa got vaccinated. We're early on, like one of the first vaccinations, mind you, right? So I don't know if they had the like what happened was he got vaccinated and then they asked for more for him to get more vaccinations. I don't know if the extra vaccinations were to help solve the issues that he was having or anything, but he got vaccinated early on because his job required it. They asked for him to get a second vaccination later on. He denied it because after he got vaccinated, he ended up having much blood pressure issues. I don't know what kind of issues. I didn't go into detail, but he had blood pressure issues right after the vaccination. He's always had some issues underlying. This made them fluctuate in a weird way, okay? And so they had to start working on fixing it and everything, and now he can't have as much sugar. It's fucked him up. And that was the vaccination. That's a fact. There is no misinformation here. I can get the medical documentation if I have to, right? And I will fight this. Do you know what I mean? So, that's the thing. That doesn't mean everyone's going to respond that way. That doesn't mean shit, okay? All that means is in one specific instance, someone had a complication. There is a non-zero chance that anyone can have a complication of any kind taking any kind of medicine, right? I could go take a medicine I don't normally take, let's say aspirin, right? I don't normally take aspirin. I take acetone, a different type of aspirin. Like, it's not aspirin, it's like acetopamine or whatever with caffeine. I usually take that, but I don't take aspirin because it doesn't seem to work on me. If I took aspirin and had, you know, my heart suddenly stop, right? It could happen. It's not supposed to. I don't believe it's supposed to happen, but it could, because there's always that small chance of issues happening. Because I'm sorry to say, everybody's different. Everybody has different cells in them. It's everyone's little bits of difference in little bitty ways that no one can really fathom and understand. It's why medicine isn't as far along as people thinks it should be, because we have to factor in the massive variety of different people, from hair color to eye color. It all matters. And if one thing messes up, it kills people. That's why they have medical trials. And to be clear, at the time they started doing the vaccinations, I do remember they did limited medical trials and then started rolling out the vaccine. Of course, I'm not going to get a limited vaccine. I want them to make sure that that shit ain't going to kill me, right? I want to make sure that I can go in, get that vaccine, and come out and never have to worry about that. But, you know, no one can tell what actually is going to happen, you know? And so it's got to be tried and tested and, you know, refined, and that's okay. That's how this works. That's how vaccines work. That's how it's always worked. That doesn't mean I'm going to immediately go get the first iteration of a vaccine. Yes, everyone was really scared of COVID, and I'll be quite honest, you should absolutely listen to the WHO in terms of, you know, being safe. Wash your hands, wear gloves, wear a mask if you're going to in a big population of people. That's what WHO recommends, and I 100% agree. Because better safe than sorry. I don't go out. That's the other reason I didn't get a vaccination. I don't go anywhere. Yeah, I never got a vaccination purely by my own choice because it ended up never being a problem for me. I never needed it, so I didn't get it. End of story. Like, there's no, it's not rocket science here. I'm not saying don't get vaccinated or anything like that. By all means, you do what you want to do. Would I say you should get vaccinated now? I haven't heard anything bad about vaccinations lately, but I don't think they've been talking about it very much. So, you know, do your own research. See if there's been a bunch of cases of weird health complications. If there are, don't get it. But if there aren't, that's, you know, it's up to you. That's not my choice. That's yours, right? Do your research. Look it up. We have the power of every single detail ever mentioned at our fingertips. Find it. You can research it. It's just like getting the flu. I mean, yeah. I don't plan on starting to go out and interact with a lot of people anytime soon, so I'm probably not going to get vaccinated anytime soon. Hey, Songwang. We're having a conversation about what got me a warning with YouTube, and I'm doing a full stream conversation about it because I like riding the line, you know what I mean? Because it's easier. But no, in all honesty, in all actuality, there are a lot more people who have degrees, who are trained in all of that. Yeah, I would. Who are trained in, you know, medical fields of all stripes, who say to do things, and people are like, oh, but they're not qualified. No, listen to them. They've trained most of their life for this. Do you understand how hard it is to be a doctor? It's hard as fuck. But, you know, I'm not one. So, you know, by all means, do what you want to do with your own shit. But don't endanger other people unnecessarily. Just like when you're driving your car. Just like when you're fucking, I don't know, riding a bike, mountain climbing, hiking, playing video games, whatever you're doing, don't be an unnecessary asshole. It's just a waste of time. Right? But my point is, and so this is, by the way, this conversation entirely is about medical misinformation, right? Is about the fact that apparently I gave medical misinformation, and that is against YouTube policy, right? Just to be clear. But I didn't give misinformation. But, you know, that's why we're here. So anyway, yeah, I'm not getting vaccinated. Fuck that. I'm not healthy enough to risk possibly having more health issues, and I don't have enough money to deal with it. I don't have health insurance or nothing. So yeah, I'm not vaccinated, and I don't actually believe that the vaccination is a good thing. Maybe if they curb all the side effects in, like, you know, a couple more years, and there's no more side effects to those vaccinations, I might take it, but until then, nah. I don't go outside anyway, so it's not like I go anywhere. But, you know, that's just how it is. It's how it be. And it sounds conspiracy theory, but I don't need to be conspiracy theory to tell you that it was a really weird way that they pushed it so hard, so violently. And it got to a point where people's rights were being violated by the United States government for it. And it's like, bro, chill the fuck out. I feel like I should point this, and so this also isn't medical misinformation, but I do want to point out that when I say their rights were violated, I'm talking about when they basically banned people from leaving their homes because of COVID. We didn't know how bad it was at the time, but your rights are being violated. When you're being banned from leaving your own home, your right is being violated. for the good of anyone or not, your right is being violated. Yeah, and you know, they assumed it. I'm not saying that what they did was wrong, okay? That's the weird thing about this. I'm saying that they did do it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it was an overreaction in hindsight, but if you look at it from the position that they were in at the time, I don't think they were wrong, but they definitely went hard in trying to push vaccines and all of that stuff. They did it. They did. Facts. That's all there is to it. There is no, you know, well, they could have done this. We don't. Hindsight is 2020. They don't have the benefit of hindsight. That's the important thing there. That's why I'm like, you know, yes, I said this, but I'm not wrong. But it's not medical misinformation. So, like, that's not medical misinformation. You're causing people to panic over this, which is a problem. I never said it wasn't a problem, mind you. I want to, right, just to be clear, it wasn't it was a problem because there were people dying, and I'm not saying they're not dying, okay? But you're just causing more problems by being so violently aggressive about getting vaccinations, firing people, like ostracizing people who didn't get the vaccination because of worries of the side effects, which were very real worries for side effects, by the way. Like, there are people who died because they got the vaccination, unironically. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's not like people weren't worried for nothing. So I said people died because of the vaccination. I'm like 90% certain that I have heard at least 1 or 2 cases where someone has died from the vaccination. I don't know where. I don't have any proof. I believe it's true because if my grandpa, who has minor underlying issues, almost died because blood pressure is important because of the vaccination he took, okay? There are other people who wouldn't even realize there was a problem and die. I'm moving my hands and shit and pointing, and it's like, you can't see it. It's really upsetting. It is very real that people have died because of the vaccination, and I am very certain that that's a thing. Was it on purpose? No. I don't believe it was on purpose at all. It's called a side effect. You can die from taking aspirin normally. It can cause, I believe, internal bleeding spontaneously. It happens. That's what side effects are. You know what I mean? You can die from taking caffeine because it'll cause your heart to explode, or it'll cause other issues that can happen. They're not common though. So they don't happen, and no one thinks about it, right? But that's what a side effect is. So no, I don't think I'm wrong at all. I'm 9 here. You know what? I'll do one get better. Hold on. Also, I want to point out, this one from 2021. As of 2021, 65 million doses of vaccines were given out. The United States population is 350 million people. Okay? That's less than a third. Just to be clear. That's less than an eighth, isn't it? Something like that. This is a news article. I don't know if they're really accurate. I'm not going to fact check this news article, but I am looking at a news article right now. So, you know. Right. There are hundreds of reports of people dying after getting the COVID vaccine. That does not necessarily mean that the vaccine was the cause. That's true, right? The vaccine isn't always the cause, but side effects from the vaccine have, at least in one instance, I know for a fact, fucked with blood pressure. That can kill people. The thing is VAERS results showed 970 people died after receiving Pfizer or Moderna vaccine shot. Of those deaths, 495 occurred after Moderna shot and 475 occurred after Pfizer shot. They do not specify if it was the vaccine or COVID or any other possible health issue. I'm looking at it right now. So as of 2021, there were reports of people taking the vaccine and still dying one way or another. Whether it was the vaccine as the cause or not, we don't know, right? We weren't told. We're not given that information as of 2021. That news article doesn't. So I read through it. They continue to go on to say it was a fact check of what was happening, and they continue to go on to say that it's mostly true that people have died after taking the shots. That doesn't mean that the shots were the cause, but, and it was only like almost 1,000 people, which that's not a lot of people for 60 million doses. That is about what I expect, to be honest. That seems about right. The thing is, I don't want to be one of those 1,000 people, so I didn't get the shot. That's all there's to it. And it was just weird, so I avoided it altogether. Yes, I worked through the last year previously and the year before that while Corona was a thing, but I for the majority of the heavy part of Corona, the first and second year, I didn't leave the house. I didn't go anywhere. Because of Corona, we were subsidized and stuff, so I didn't have to go anywhere. And so I just stayed inside for the entire time, just about. Yep. And I think that's it. Occasionally going to the store, very briefly, not touching what I didn't need to, like that kind of thing. Like, yeah, it wasn't that bad for me. And when my grandparents and great-grandparents actually got Corona, it ended up not being too bad for them either. And they all have underlying health issues, guys. So them being okay is a little, you know, a little suspicious, little odd. And then there's the rumors of people being misdiagnosed as having died from Corona when they didn't die from Corona, because, you know, that was apparently happening. I don't have any proof of that. No proof of that, you know, just be clear. Yeah. So yeah, it's all very fun times. And no, I don't have any hard data or anything like that either, right? Yeah. So that's the other thing. But I specified that I don't have any truths. Now's a good time to stop the stream. Yeah, and then I end the stream. That's the community strike warning, right? I'm fully anticipating this to become a warning as well, and I will have a strike, okay? This stream, I'm fully anticipating it. Let's fucking go, right? So I got a warning, not a strike. It's not a strike. It's a warning, right? If I get another strike for the same thing, you know, medical misinformation, which I have proof that I am not wrong, right? That I have not said anything that's a lie, right? People have died after taking the vaccine, not because of the vaccine. They died after taking the vaccine. That I don't have proof of certain things because I didn't look it up, but I know it existed as some way or shape or form. I don't, what's the word? I don't say things that I'm absolutely certain are false, but if there's something around that could prove it's true, I'll go ahead and say it if I think it, if I don't see anything wrong with it, right? The vaccine's effectiveness or its death rate, it's about right. That sounds awful, right? But what I mean by that is that was about the death rate that I expected. That's not a big death rate. Even if every single one of those deaths was a direct cause of the vaccine, which I'm not saying it was, that's not a big death rate at all. That's definitely within a margin of error that people could absolutely accept, right? Of people freaking out about it. But I also didn't want to be one of the statistics. Thanks. You know? So I just stayed. You know? So, yeah. So if I get, if someone reports this, it doesn't help that Karen, yeah, no, it doesn't help that, right? But it also doesn't help that there's a lot of misinformation going around about COVID in its various forms and what's going on. Like, COVID's still a problem, guys. It hasn't gone away. We just don't talk about it. But, you know, I don't care because I don't go out. You know what I mean? So I don't care about it. I don't go anywhere. I just stay home. And that's what you should do. If you have the option to stay home, do it. What it is part of it's that, and part of it's that everyone's kind of forgetting, wants to forget about it. So everyone's doing their best to not talk about it. Because, you know, obviously it's not fun, right? It's not a fun time. God, I'm tired. I'm gonna wake up in the morning and my channel being locked. You know what I mean? Let's fucking go, right? I did dispute my warning because I don't believe. Yeah, there's 5 now. We were at 6 for a bit. I don't believe that I said anything wrong, misinformation though. Especially since I clarified at the end, I don't have any proof. I don't have any information about this. Don't trust me. Google it. There was 6, yes. Like, yeah, right? We killed one. Murderers. But yeah, don't sit there and, like, don't sit there and act like I'm any kind of trustworthy source for anything, right? But here's the thing, right? If someone wants to try to contest me on, you know, what's going on, I'll go get the hard data. I will debate you, unironically, because guess what? I like debates. They're fun, right? A proper debate where we're not insulting each other. Yeah, Source, don't trust me, bro. Where we actually have a debate about things. Let's go. I will kick your ass. I'm not gonna insult you. I'm just gonna kick your ass. You know what I mean? Like, I will get the information and I will throw it in your face, and that's the thing. I don't though, right? I just don't. I have enough information to be right or wrong and not care, because at the end of the day, we're all going somewhere. Did I watch Looney Tunes? Yeah, Looney Tunes is good. Like here's. Yeah, what about Wile E. Coyote? Yeah, what about him? Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. What about him? But, like, people don't understand that debates are supposed to be back and forths of a discussion and not you hurling insults at each other. And it really upsets me because it's like, a good debate is really healthy and really fun to do, especially if you say you're open-minded. But if you say you're open-minded and then immediately try to say that someone else is wrong and then insult them, you're not debating. You're just being an asshole. And that's facts too. All the facts. You can't, Chungu, that's an animal. You can't charge an animal about anything. Yeah, bro's just hungry. You know what's impressive? He never actually catches the Roadrunner, but he still never dies of starvation. So that's impressive. The fuck are you on about, Chungu? Whatever. So that's you know, this is the stream where I'm gonna get absolutely banned for I'm gonna get a channel strike, a policy strike. So it's been nice knowing y'all. I'll be on Twitch tomorrow, so that'll be fun, and I'll have more content, right? Like all the content. I don't want YouTube to cause me to have content, but also it's good content. Here's the thing, Chungu. If it comes down to it where I have to swear up and down the dictionary, it's gonna be after I've been temporarily banned by YouTube for a week, and then I will turn around and I will do that in a single stream where I just go through the dictionary of curse words, and I bet there is one on the internet, and I'll do that then. But like I said, I don't believe that they're gonna do that, because I'm like 90% certain that I'm okay. I don't just spew bullshit, and also, you know, I do know that at the very minimum, the information was available. You know what I mean? It's there. I also did say, you know, don't trust me. Don't listen to what I say. I'm not a, you know, gotten a mess of dishonor. Yeah, right? Absolutely. Fucking send it. We ain't here for, yeah, read the entire Urban Dictionary on stream. Yeah, absolutely. Let's fucking go, right? Here's the thing. I can get away with reading the entire Urban Dictionary on stream. They're not going to stop me unless I say something like the N-word, but like I'm not going to do that. Probably. Maybe I'll get the N-word pass from my friend. I doubt it. They're not going to let me have it. I'm going to ask though. If I get suspended for the week, I'm going to ask. Look, go hard or go home, you know what I mean? And guess what? I'm already home. That's a fucking sentence, isn't it? Go hard or go home, and guess what? I'm already home. Thanks, Panda. Oh, I might use it. Like I said, I don't know. I know in the next 24 hours, I'll know if I'm getting suspended or not. What I'm curious about is if I get suspended because I get another strike on this stream, on this VOD, right? And they unwarning the other VOD and reestablish it. Do I keep the suspension, or does it get removed? Like, that's what I want to know. I'm about to find out, aren't I? That'll be wild, wouldn't it? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm gonna go finish this episode of Eminence and Shadow and probably go to sleep because I'm really tired. I had meant to go to sleep like an hour ago, but now we're streaming, so this has been a wild night. I wasn't planning on this, but I will catch you guys tomorrow. Or here's the thing. You can go to my Twitch, follow my Twitch. I have it linked somewhere. If you can't find my Twitch, you can go to my Discord, and I have a Twitch link in here, okay? So yeah. So I will catch you guys later. Goodbye. Good night. Wrong one to end. Whoops. Wait. Before I go. Goodbye. Good night.